Salute to all the real ones out there. It's your boy Mike coming at you again with another video. Y'all like the content that I've been dropping, the direction that my channel was headed in. I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos with anybody you think may benefit from them, alright? Now, as you guys can see, I'm kind of dressed a little bit different. This is another day where I actually had some stuff to take care of, because your boy right here is always on his purpose, man. I know I get up off of a 24-hour shift. The first thing I want to do is like lay down and relax, but I'm something like a shark. You got to keep moving, otherwise your plans will die. So, I just got done taking care of some necessary errands that are going to line me up for, like I said, for the future. And now, I'm actually home, and I wanted to hit y'all in the head with another good topic, all right? So, today's topic is going to be evading social engineering, all right? Evading social engineering. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is Edward Bernays, all right? Edward Bernays is considered to be like the godfather of human public relations. So if you think about any of the things that are used in like advertising, commercials, marketing, the genius behind the ideology or the technique that makes you feel like you just want something, even though before you really didn't even have it in your subconscious, are coming from things that Edward Bernays championed and honestly developed back in the day. All right, so there's a book that I would highly recommend that Edward Bernays wrote, and it was called Propaganda. And I'm not really going to dive too much into him as an individual or into like his ideology, because honestly I don't want it to be something that you can just listen to my video and now you know everything about Edward Bernays. I just would challenge any of you to look into what he developed, okay? And he is the nephew of Sigmund Freud, and you can pretty much consider him like a psychoanalyst. Like he figured out how humans think in mass as well as individuals. So he was very good at psychology and coming up with techniques that he knew would be effective on us as consumers. So a lot of what he did back in the day was sitting down with companies, corporations, and even governments and figuring out the best way to sway the public opinion to serve the corporate and or governmental interests. So think about like the invasion of your subconscious via advertisements. Some of the people that you talk to, they have like a real strong affinity for whatever product or service, but it literally might have just been because of an awesome media campaign from whatever product or service. So case in point, you got some people who, black people especially, they'll talk about, I need some Hennessy. That's their main drink of choice. Oh, give me the double hen. You know how I get when I drink some hen. It's like all about Hennessy, but where did that really come from? Was it really just some staple drink that everybody for generations has been on? Or could it be said that a few rappers endorsed it, i.e. Tupac, back in the mid-90s, and ever since then it just stuck? I mean, like, you be the judge. Or you see what I'm wearing right now, a little Jordan Jumpman. Now, you could argue that a lot of people wear Jordan just for the simple fact that Jordan is literally like hands down probably the greatest of all time when it comes to that sport, and many of us actually are old enough to remember seeing him play. Now you gotta think, I'm an 80s baby, so I remember seeing like Michael Jordan's last game, like, when he went out on top, where he crossed Byron Russell and shot that game-winning shot against the Utah Jazz, but that was back in the 97 finals. So back then I was 12 watching that game, or 13, sorry, it might have been 97, 98. Either way, I was like 12, 13 watching Michael Jordan play, But think about like how his brand has still stuck around. You got all these people who endorse Jordan but probably don't even know about his basketball career or even care for it. but it's just something that socially has been programmed, and a lot of people are just into it. Or there's countless examples, take the thong song from Cisco. Were all these females really wearing thongs before that song hit big? I doubt that even females had a strong affinity to do so, because they probably associated it with like loose sexuality or whoredom or sluts or special occasions. Now that's like the standard underwear for most females. I mean, tell me I'm lying. So the reason why I'm making this video about evading social engineering is because, and referencing Edward Bernays, he said as like the last sentence in his book Propaganda that he and other people who are intellectually bright have not only a responsibility but also a right to guide public opinion, because basically, left to our own devices, the average human is just not smart enough to correctly run his or her own life. So if you guys have been watching my channel, you can see that I'm a little bit of an intellectual. I'm not the smartest guy ever, you know what I mean? It's not like you put me in a physics class and I'm gonna be over here just raising my hand, just smacking every single question with nothing but correct answers. I'm more saying that I'm a person who thinks critically. And from all the topics that you see me cover, obviously I'm not just some dumbass that can't put together a sentence, So I'm trying to evade the propaganda and the programming that I see they want us to just take as gospel. You see what I mean? And I'm making this video for all the people out there who maybe have the same thinking as me. Like, they can see what's coming down the pipeline and they don't like where the world is headed. So they're mentally equipping themselves to handle the programming that's coming in different forms. So, like, here's one form I mean. Musicians. All right. You got to think, like, musicians, celebrities of the like, they used to be considered to be the cultural leaders of nations. Can you see where that, like, makes sense? Like what I just said about Tupac. Tupac just him alone, just as a big homie on the block, or just as a older brother or somebody that you wish you were affiliated with. He's been dead for over 20-something years, but the impact he had dudes wearing bandanas, had dudes drinking Hennessy, had dudes talking about being thugs, had dudes getting the same tattoo of Thug Life on their fucking stomach, had rappers emulating his style and try to come like they so hard hitting, had gang culture at an all-time high. Like, everything that Tupac endorsed, it had other people trying to jump on it. And this is even now. You got people who still reference Tupac shit. So think about all the songs that are made that indoctrinate masses of people and honestly introduce change, whether it be positive or negative. All right? Entertainers. That's another form. It's like a little caveat off of the rappers and musicians. They're the biggest promoters of propaganda, and through them there is a glorification of godlessness. Now, you guys know, I'm not the most religious person. I'm of the thought that a lot that has to do with the Bible is more like a guide on how you should live your life. Like, my boy Kevin Evans was chopping it up with me the other day, and we were kind of talking about like how the Bible has so many profound things that happen, and it's always applicable to real life. But the only thing is, it's more like the religion comes in and taints the purity of the Bible, the innocence of the Bible, the profound vision that the Bible is trying to give all of humanity. It's like religions and all their different denominations of Christianity dilute the overall message. But what I'm saying is, like, when you think about entertainment these days, almost every movie is totally devoid of God. It's almost like there's a strict agenda to promote the latter, or not the latter, but the opposite, which would be Satanism. You've seen a lot of pagan worship. You've seen a lot of glorification of just the wrong values in today's society. And any mention of God almost like shakes the room, it's like a power vacuum in the room. Like, what? Why are you referencing God? So I kind of understand why religious people every 5 minutes feel the need to like bring up Christianity, or it's mainly them. Those are the ones that I usually see, like always being like a champion of some cause and trying to throw Jesus' name everywhere. But like there is a lot of godlessness going on around. Like everything's being turned upside down. You know what I mean? Like literally, women are aspiring to be prostitutes, aspiring to be sluts and whores, more so than just good women. Not all. Don't hit me with the all police. But I'm just saying, there's definitely agenda at play, and you can see it just with the godlessness, the desire for everyone to kind of go on a wayward path. Another thing is like, I'm evading the social engineering by just being aware of like the impact of athletes and sports, you know, because there seems to be like this hyper focus on physical prowess of a select few, which creates a vacuum for real and honorable professions. Meaning that, take the NBA for example, all right? There's only certain people that are going to ever make it to the NBA. These are just facts. NFL, NHL, NBA, NBL, or MLB. Anything you're thinking about on a high level of professional sports, there's only a very, very select few that will ever make it. But it seems like in our culture, especially like in America, there's this hyper focus on everybody wanting to make it to the NBA. Everybody wanting to be a rapper, basketball player, football player, like. And what I'm saying is that makes it where there's a vacuum in just real honorable professions. Like, when's the last time you bumped into, like, let's say a normal young black kid and he said he wanted to be an engineer versus he wants to be a rapper, or he wants to be he's going to play AAU every single year because he knows it'll get him into a Ivy League school, and then he can play at that school high level basketball, and then he's going to probably get drafted. Everybody's trying to become some professional athlete using their body, but nobody's trying to use their fucking mind. All right, so that's another thing I'm seeing, and honestly, just like this overall focus on sports. Like, what I realize, if I talk to my friends, for example, not knocking them, you know, because everybody has their own interests. I don't expect everybody to think like me, but this channel is for more people who think like me. Okay, so that's neither here nor there. But like, if you're watching my channel, think about it. You're probably somebody who might have been interested in something like science, or just things you've heard about the world, or just any type of just nice information or useful information that you can use along your journey. But you're often at a loss when you think about who you can really communicate the newfound information that you just came across with. Because there's a level of superficiality that exists in all conversations between you and the people you know. And you can't ever get past that little shallow pool of knowledge. Everyone wants to talk about the same topics. You know, celebrity gossip, what they heard, work and drama, people they don't like, negative stuff, you know, complaining about life in general. But no one's talking about like investing or holistic health or being proactive in their life to actually get what they want out of life, you see? But they'll break down all the stats of whatever basketball team or whatever football team. But I'm like, that's a game. It's a bunch of grown men like throwing and catching balls, dribbling a ball. But you can't tell me about the Constitution or the amendments or history that actually happened in your country. Let us play a World Capitals game. Think about how many people would just be stuck. They win maybe 5-6 capitals they know, but they don't know anything else. So it's like there's just a loss of general intelligence going on right now. Controlled opposition. All right. Basically, controlled opposition is the idea of polarizing public opinion to exist in only two factions: Democrat, Republican, rich, poor. You know, everything is always like black and white. You know, Muslim, Christian. Like, I'm seeing that on a big level. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't even disagree with somebody and have a reasonable argument against that, because they're gonna put you in one or two factions. Like, for example, if I don't just smile with joy and clap my hands and say that a transgender person is like brave and ooh bravo and like almost pat them on the back and give them kudos, then I'm homophobic or I'm transphobic, or like there's some other ambiguous term that belongs to me just because I don't maybe agree that that's correct, or I don't agree that we need more of that in the world. You see? The fashion industry, of course, because it's just promoting, in my opinion, homosexuality. Like, you can't even buy any real clothes nowadays that aren't like trying to make you look like a female if you're a male. GMOs. I'm not gonna say any. I'm just gonna drop it out there. It's a genetically modified organism, so it's not real. But you're eating it under the impression that it will give you the same nutrients and values and like qualities of real food. Look into that. That's all I'm gonna say. And last but not least, you have feminism and gender war, because this is like a divide and conquer against men and women fighting against each other rather than working together in nature's harmonious balance. So I'm just trying to evade all this social programming. You know what I mean? And it's hard because everywhere I look, there's people who are just totally immersed in it, and they're completely oblivious to that fact. So for all my people out there that are a little bit aware and know a bit about propaganda and how it can really affect masses of people, I would just say stay frosty, man. And like TMT, Thinking Man's Templar, says, man, like keep your eye on your six, man. Because honestly, there's a lot of things that are coming down the pipeline that are just, keeping humans at their lowest level. So like, comment, subscribe, and holla back.